In this video, we're going to talk about the template that you can use on your own to help set your goals and how to actually set those. Hi, it's Brian Kreutz again with the RevPartners Playbooks Team, and I'm going to continue talking about go-to-market goals. First, we want to go to a template. Now, this is a very simple template that you can use in Google Sheets or Excel just to get a baseline benchmark on kind of what you're looking for to begin to set those goals. So the first thing you want to do is align your metrics to your revenue performance model. Now, just like we saw in previous videos, the revenue performance model is going to outline those key milestones within the customer journey. For each of these milestones, you likely will have a name for a metric, like in this educate to select phase, we call those sales qualified leads. You may use different terminology, but it's probably the same part of the customer journey. So you want to add all of your metrics in these squares right here, because they're volume metrics. And then in between, it's just simply the conversion rate between the two volume metrics. You're going to want to add your definition based on the triggers of how that becomes that metric within your CRM. And then ideally, you would have individual reports for all these to easily track this data. The first thing you're going to want to do is track your historical data, because this will help you set forecasted future goals. So if you have these reports in your CRM, you should have historical data that is accurate. You want to go as far back as you can, ideally 4 calendar quarters, but if you only have 1 or 2 calendar quarters of correct data, that's okay. So go ahead and add your actuals here. And then for your go-to-market goals and forecasting, you're going to begin to forecast your data going forward. So let's take a look at what this looks like. So here I've got all of my leads, and this is just sample revenue for a sample, fake business. But we have all of our metrics. We have our metrics and our conversion rates. We've got our definitions of exactly what each of these metrics are. And then we have report links into our CRM so we can pull this data. So we have all of this historical data here. But you can see here, if we want to set 2025 goals, we can look at all of this historical data. So we have all of this historical data, and then we're trying to plan goals for the future. And so here you can see that you can analyze all of this data, and you can see, are we on a growth trajectory? Are we kind of plateauing in certain areas? Are conversion rates getting higher or lower in certain areas based on different factors within the business? And then use this to begin to define your goals. So because this is in a spreadsheet, it's very easy to highlight certain rows, in this case, leads, and you can see the average, the minimum, the maximum of some of your data from the last 4 quarters, and use that to inform your decision making. A lot of times if companies are growing, you can take the average as a baseline, but if you want to grow, you want to keep adding to these goals. You can do the same thing for conversion rates. A lot of time these conversion rates are volatile. So you can see 46% in Q1, 15% in Q3. Because this is volatile, a lot of times you might want to take an average and use an average of about 31%. And this will help you kind of take away those highs and lows and make a better average here. Sometimes your business changes and you need to look at those different conversion rates as more accurate as your business changes a bit more, and then you can change your goals here. So in this hypothetical scenario, the company wants to grow to 1.2 million in revenue and was about at 950,000 in the same quarter the previous year. So based on that, we want to track different conversion rates and volume metrics to get the goals that we want. And so if we look at the last 5 quarters of data, you can see that the average is 23, but the forecast is 28. Now, the reason for that is because you can see the average deal value has been going down. And so we're going to take that, we're going to assume the trend is going to continue. And because the average deal size is lower, it's going to make sure that we close more customers in this calendar quarter to hit our goal. So a lot of times you'll want to start from the bottom at your revenue goal for that calendar quarter, and then work your way up. Now that we know that we need 28 closed won deals, what's a reasonable conversion rate? And then begin to work our way up funnel. So sales qualified deals to close won conversion rates are usually more stable. You can see the average is 25%. I'm going to go ahead and use that 25% here. Whereas here, you can see the average here is 72%, but there has been things that I know have changed in this business, which is why I'm going to forecast it at the same as last quarter rather than the average. So your job as a revenue operations professional is to really make sure that you are factoring in different decisions the business has made to make sure that your forecasting is correct. If you have the historical data, you have all the data points you need, but you need to overlay those with business decisions to ensure, are conversion rates going up? Are conversion rates going down? Are they staying the same? Are we trying to grow more as a business? So revenue goals are going to go up, which means that conversion rates might have to go up too. Are you rolling out new products that might be higher value or lower value that might affect average deal size? All of these things you need to factor in order to get to your final goal setting so that you know exactly what you want to do. And you can forecast to future quarters as well. So in this case, we are forecasting a similar revenue goal here, but we have different metrics up funnel here. And so you can see that future forecasts might change, and you want to update this on a quarterly basis, but you want to forecast your go-to-market goals for the next fiscal quarter, and then the first fiscal quarter first, and then future quarters to ensure that everything is aligned, and then present this to your leadership team.